Afternoon, everyone. I'm going to present my small research that is a socio-linguistic study of code switching of the Hindi language speakers on Facebook. The outline of this presentation are as follows: introduction, reviews, purpose of the study, research methodology, analysis, and discussion, conclusion, and limitation. Code switching, or the switch between two or more languages in the context of a single conversation, is a well-studied phenomenon in a multilingual communities. University of Illinois defined the code switching as the mixing of words, phrases, and sentences from the two distinct grammatical subsystems across system boundaries, sentence boundaries within the same speech event. There are three types of code switching. One is the tag switching, in which one language or one words have been added, and the second one is intrasentential, in which in one sentence you have to use different kind of languages. In intrasentential, like for example if I don't have any option, then मेरे को जल्दी बस लेनी पड़ी. So this is an example of different types of code switching. In the epoch of globalization, using two or more languages is trend or norms nowadays. In the bilingual or multilingual community like India, people use code switching in daily life to connect the people. Two or more languages give opportunity to express our feelings and their thoughts and shape their identity. Bilingual peoples have a feeling of dignity when they use repertoire of linguistic. Today, Facebook is one of the most democratic asynchronous computer-mediated communication of the internet, where phenomena of code switching is altitude, and the Facebook users have a clear inclination of switching from one code to the language of to another during communication. Generally, people do not impose on a particular code of language. They often try to mix their language. Frankly speaking, this is their personal choice. In India, Facebook has a popular among rural, urban areas, working and the human homemaker women in various socioeconomic status. Facebook has empowered to students and the common people for expressing their standpoint and perceptibility. Based on these review of related literature, while communicating in Facebook, people often use such codes. So such codes types vary greatly in various situations. The objective of this paper is to find out the cause and patterns and reveal the motivation behind the code switching in Indian context. The research question are: what types of code switching? For example, tag switching, intrasentential code switching occurs most in their Facebook status and the replies. And why do Hindi speakers switch codes when they are communicating with other native speakers? The research methodology part, in which qualitative research approach have been used for research question 1, and e-questionnaire is used for research question 2. In the first part, in this method, only 4 wall posts were observed. Only status and replies where code switching occurred were collected to the study. For this study, 10 active Facebook users, age group from 25 to 50, were selected purposely, and every one of them is Indian Hindi speaker citizens, to study the understanding regarding the reason for CS. Standardized questionnaire has adapted for this study according to the current 2014, and this data were collected in August from August to mid-September. And the background information of participants are mostly the participants belong from different professions: businessman, researcher, teacher assistant, professor, homemaker, etc. Analysis of Facebook status and replies. After analyzing data, it was found that in Facebook in Facebook, intra-sentential quote, tag switching, and interword switching occurs most in the conversation with friends and families. Participants use a number of short and sign expressions like oh, boo, boo for crying, sad and smiley and laughing. Sometimes switches occur for the purpose of emphasis. The first situation where some friends and cousins are there and they are discussing on some in the famous Indian street food, that is eating golgappe. And when discussion happened among the cousin and friends, tag switching means one or words used in a switch language has occurred. According to Hay, application of two languages exemplify the identity of the new generation. Switching is used to important details of conversation, especially when a speaker wants to listener opinions or approval. And it's very common, according to the research, it's very common to occur tag switching when conversation happen among friends and families. The second post was that some inspirational poetry in Hindi, in which friends have participated in that discussion conversation. So it can be observed that from that conversation there is no code switching overall. When some funny or entertainment post is posted, participants use only Hindi. The occurrence of the code switching is not a simple matter in bilingual or multilingual society. Rather, it illustrates a personal background and cultural identity. According to the studies, code switching occurs when these factors are there, like intragroup identity, some poetic creativity, and the expression of modernization. The third post was there, wishes on the Eid festival of Muslim religion among colleagues. So all colleagues are participated in that conversation. So when participants are surrounded by their colleagues, they often use code switching. In their discussion, intra-sentential code switching is mostly used that occurs within a clause or sentence boundary. As per observation, respondents use code switching no matter it's a festival or cultural identity when they encircle in the formal or official settings. According to the studies, people according to research, people use Chinese language to express their personal ideas and thoughts, while English is used for internet international identity. And the another situation is that when some political issue has there and the discussion on the same political issue, so friends and colleagues have participated in that conversation. So in this situation, although they are friends, but they use switch the code when some political issues have occurred among them. It also showed that how situation code switching function is computer mediated communication. And it all research also suggests that when some political things, some professional work related matters, minority language for situation has come, code switching has occurred. And the next one is the analysis of questionnaire, the survey question and their responses. Here we can see that 90% responded communicate with friends on Facebook, and only 50% responded use both languages, while 30% use English on Facebook. In this figure, pie chart, we observed that 70% respondents switch language outside the Facebook, and 60% agree with that. It is easy to communicate. Um, uh, in this case, we can see here in this pie chart, we can observe that only 10% agree with that code switching is harmful for their mother tongue, but 40% people says no, they are not agree with that. Facebook has a negative impact on language, while whereas the 50% people are not sure about the same. whether code switching will negative or positive impact on their mother tongue. And it's 40% people agree with that. It's hard to find an equivalent for both Hindi and language and English word. So in this pie chart, we can observe that 80% respondents says that they use WhatsApp other than Facebook for they use code switching, and 30% people said that they use English to write status, and 70% people say they use mixed or both language, while the 60% people think using both languages have created a novel way of communicating. Yes, in the conclusion and discussion, this study demonstrated that all participants belong from a non-English speaking country employ code switching as a tool to enhance their interaction in Facebook. Here, participants regard as using two languages as a natural occurrence, which hinge on their educational background and workplace. As a result, they use different types of code switching as tag, intra, and inter code switching, intersentential code switching. Meanwhile, it also has been observed they are maintaining of using different types of codes for different people in different situations successfully, which reflect their idiosyncrasy to use their code switching. Hence, based on the above analysis, it can be said that code switching is not a half-set application rather than a proper decided communication action plan. The present study was carried on a small sample, which is not sufficient to make any claims or any generalization. Here, the data focus only a set of code switching to one social networking site. Nevertheless, we should look widely at the other than Facebook, such as Twitter, Instagram, WeChat, and Line, and any other parameters of code switching for future research. Okay, in futuristic study, it can be done in University of Taiwan, where the international students who are learning language, especially the Mandarin language, at larger scale. Thank you for listening me. If you have any queries, please mail me on this email address. Thank you so much.